Thank you. It's so inspiring to hear Abraham, to hear Mariliana, and all of you. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, John. Thank you especially to Marcelo that he has always given a voice here to all the human trafficking survivors, as we have heard they like to be called. But also, I want to thank all the people that have served us, because each one of them has made us feel so special. Gabby and all the people that have served in the food and in the bathrooms and everywhere. It's so special here because it's an atmosphere of dignity and of love. Thank you to all of you that has taught us. When I hear Mariliana, I hear somebody like many of you that it's not only like Moses, that he came out of slavery with the people, but it was like Joshua, who was thinking in a land that is prosperous and that will conquer dreams that are big. I think that's the life the people needs when they come out from slavery. And of course, that's the thinking of Pope Francis when he is speaking about somebody, not something that is sold as merchandise. I met recently, I wrote an article about MARTA, a Mexican girl who is, she was 14 years old when she was trafficked to the United States. And she looked for me because when she escaped after watching a documentary that is called From Tenancingo to New York, she escaped because she saw that some of our friends, survivors, that's the way they like to be called, Madaí Morales was in that documentary, and she thought, I'm being raped up to 60 times here in New York a day because they are taken to migrants that live in an apartment or to houses where several men will rape them in that moment. She was 14, she escaped when she was 17, and then she was taken to a shelter. When I met her, she was working in a cafeteria, washing dishes. She didn't have any more support for psychological treatment. She was not allowed by the NGO to speak about what happened to her. And she was lonely. She couldn't go back to see her family for 7 years and a half. And they just give her a shelter for 12 months. So she tried twice to kill herself. And thanks God I met her before the third time. But it was so sad for me to see that after all this gender violence, after she lost all the self-determination. If we don't think in long term, if we of course cannot understand what happened to them, I'm sure we cannot understand it because it's so tolerated by the society. They can see the police is tolerating. I took just one trip to Roosevelt Avenue with her just to see how they are sold in little carts where a man is saying to all the migrants, chicas, chicas, girls, girls. And I saw it with my eyes. I was doing with the periscope because I couldn't believe my eyes. And it's so tolerated and they don't feel they can escape. So we cannot understand them because we haven't lived that, but they really require so long treatment. They really do not want to leave, and we need to create interpersonal relations that will stimulate the complete reintegration into the society. Like to come here, that's why I say thank you to Marcela, Gabi, because every time one of these survivors comes here, goes back to Mexico with bigger dreams. They see a world they didn't know. They feel special. They feel listen. They feel so special thanks to all of you. In Mexican law, the victim is put in the center. We have a law that, like Gregoire was saying, we don't have the means because we heard them. We heard 64 girls before making that law. So we know that this rehabilitation is so important in the law. The protection and attention, it's different from other crimes, and it is so long, the term that they need to be attended, to be attention. This is what we believe, that we need all these parts to give them this long-term attention. We call it the circle virtues, because a victim needs a shelter as long as she needs to be there. It's every one of them, it's so unique. Every one of them needs so different attention. So we need to have the communication with the authorities. In Mexico, we do not want any money from government, sorry to say, but that's the way we can also demand the government to do what they should. If we receive the money, then they will control every time. They will say if the victim speaks or not, like it happened to MARTA. It's not enough to be surviving, like in a pool to be drawing and you take breath, and then it's not enough. You have to take, like Mariliana is doing, so long process of education, employment, reparation of the, compensation, like we were talking yesterday. And of course, what IGM were saying, Abraham, the guarantee that they have the right to self-expression, to be that their opinion are the ones that are important for all of us. That could give, like when we train police or any authorities, I am so blessed by them because they say, well, Rosi already spoke academically what she thinks human trafficking is. Now I'm going to tell you what is human trafficking. So when they speak, they have such an authority in the room because they are the voice that will make the authorities, the police, the prosecutor to be sensitive to this crime. And that's why they like to be called survivors, and I love it. The shelter has to be a family home. It has to be not an institution, a cold institution. It has to be a family where they have a place to rest, where they have food, social work, psychological, legal, vocation support, education. Everything has to be in that place. But I think the most important part, and I want you have a white sheet of paper, it's the Book of Dreams. Because we all here also have the right to write a new story in our countries and to write a new story in the world. The Book of Dreams is this attitude of conquer the promised land, to conquer what Moses believed he could lead the people out of slavery, and that's powerful. One piece of white paper, it's a new story, it's a new opportunity, and I really believe that when they have these white sheets of paper and they start to write their dreams, it's so powerful. One day, one of them said that they wanted an apartment. And it was very easy when they said they wanted to study at university. Now they have scholarships, 100% scholarship in Mexico, a third world country. And they have 100% of scholarship in the best university, the Jesuitas University, that is the most expensive one. They have 100% scholarship because some of them wrote in the Book of Dreams that they wanted these kind of dreams. And in this, how to do it? Well, they have to have a clear understanding of what they want. They also write here long-term goals or short-term goals. Clearly and concretely describe the goal they want to reach. We have to see the abilities of each one of them, to coach them, to give them coaching, really. The life journal is an additional tool that the girls can use to keep track of their accomplishment. This book will be a project of life. Also, we teach them how to write also the family plan, because they have to think in the future. Let me go a little bit, okay. They go to a midway program with the Book of Dreams. We take them to a midway where they come out of that shelter, but they still have the school and also housing and personal expenses. We help them to the legal reparation of harm and also to choose to prepare to become advocates. We have a very good training for them to be able to speak in media. Media in Mexico respect them so much. When Pamela, it's a friend of us who told in her job what happened to her. And she was expecting maybe the people was going to discriminate her in her job. She's working in a hospital. She already finished university. And all the opposite, when she said that she was going to be in a program of Telemundo in media, she had all the respect of all the people in her job. These supervisors are really so important that they could speak, that they will really say the ones who ask the clients of the demand of this to stop. One day I heard one of them telling them in such a strong way that really all the men felt really compelled to say to all their friends, you know, you cannot more go to these places. And to finish, I have to tell you that the Greek word, the Greek says tzedek. When a rabbi comes to a Jewish man, they ask for the tzedekah. When we give our hand to a victim, we are not, you know, with compassion, doing an act of generosity. This is an act of justice. The ones here that has a lot of talent in academic talent are giving us so much to the ones that we learn from you. The ones that has a richness in spirituality, they give us so much with your lessons. And who has more money is not generous, because we didn't decide to be born in our countries. I didn't decide to be born in a third or developed country. We didn't decide. So if we give, it's an act of justice. We are just in a world that is so unjust, doing a little bit of balance. And that's why I'm so proud of all of them. Nelly just finished administration, and she has her own, you know, way of living, and she has been here with the Pope Francis, and she has been speaking here. Madai Morales is studying master degree. All of them, thanks to the UK ambassador, are studying English every night. And she's in master degrees. She has been with the Queen Or. She has been in many places here with the judges last year. Carlita Jacinto is so famous. She has been 3 times here with the Pope Francis, and she has been speaking in the Congress of the United States with the Duchess of Cornwall. She's the one who started the campaign of the White Sheet with the mayor's seminar here in the Vatican. And Mixi, she has been with so many important actresses and singers. Sundari, who was literally in chains. She has been in Miami with the most important speaker, the program that is so famous. Patty Gonzalez also is finishing laws, and each one of them had in their book of dreams an apartment. Guess what? They have now their own apartments, their own refugees. Nobody will be violent because they can lock their doors and had their own shelter. And Marta, guess what? Marta was last week, after she doesn't want to kill herself anymore. She's not washing dishes in New York. She's not in a shelter for 12 months. She was in DC, Washington, with Ivanka Trump. She was listening. Marta is the little one that is there with Tim Ballard. And Pamela is here, and she's the one who gave us this white sheet to all of us. Do you have your white sheet? Could we dream together for a better world for them? Could you take your white sheet? Pamela, we want to tell you, you are the ones who had to lead this fight. Why don't you stand up? You are the ones who had to lead us. You are the Joshuas. You are the ones who has the dreams. So if you dream with her, could you raise your white sheet and say with us that we all have to lead this world out of slavery, that they are the ones that are successful. Pamela was in Forbes magazine as one of the powerful women in Mexico. Thank you, Pamela, to teach us to dream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.